Good day, classmates, especially to you, ma'am. I am Saadia Arcorin from BE1C. I am the first reporter of this group. So now our topic for today is about judgment and proposition from Module 5. Introduction. Dialect is the archaic name of logic. It is a discipline of philosophy concerned with the principle of reasoning. To situate logic in the study of philosophy, it is fitting that a cursory presentation about philosophy be done, specifically on matters of meaning, origin, and division. Based on my understanding, dialect is the archaic name of logic because dialect is discourse between two or more people na magkaiba sila ng pananaw o paningin ngunit ninanais nila na itama ang katotohanan sa pamamagitan ng pangangatwiran. So dialect is name of logic because logic is pagpapaunlad sa kalayaan ng tao na may paghiwalay ang tama at mali. So it is a discipline of philosophy na may kinalaman sa principle. When we say principle, ito'y paniniwala na mayroon ng isang tao. Ito'y makakabuti sa atin sa paggawa ng desisyon. Ito'y mahalaga sa atin dahil ito ang reflection ng bawat isa. Judgment and proposition. Term is the basic unit of proposition. It is the expression of an idea. In the preceding discussion, it was made clear that the mind forms ideas through simple apprehension. The first mental operation. However, the mind does not just form idea. It also compares idea, hence a discussion of the second mental operation called judgment, which is expressed through a proposition is required. Ang proposition is the expression of idea na ang ating utak ay nagkakaroon ng mga idea through simple apprehension. However, ang utak ay hindi lamang nagkakabuo ng mga idea, bagkus pinaghahambing din ito ang mga idea. It means base sa nakikita ng isang tao is nagkakaroon siya ng maraming idea at pinaghahambing ito. Halimbawa, may nakita tayong babae sa daan tapos nakasuot ng magagandang damit at nakasuot ng maraming alhas. So, hindi na natin ito agad-agad matatawag na mayaman. Pero kapag nakita natin na may madaming pera, magandang sasakyan at magandang bahay, is pwede na natin siyang tawagin na mayaman dahil na naghahambing ang ating mga nakita. So, nagkakaroon tayo ng maraming idea tungkol sa kanya, kaya natawag natin siyang mayaman. So, magkakaroon tayo dito mental operation. That is what we call judgment. So, remember that judgment is yung nasa utak natin, yung binubuo natin ng mga idea. And proposition is kapag naipalabas na natin kung anong nasa isip natin, magbubuo tayo ng pangungusap or sentence. Halimbawa, ang Ali ay mayaman. So, yun yung lumabas sa utak natin, yung idea. Yun yung tinatawag na proposition. Ang Ali ay mayaman. Natural and meaning of judgment. It takes two ideas for the mind to form a judgment. As the mind draw a judgment, it makes comparison between these two ideas. In comparing this idea, the mind enunciates their relation, whether they are in agreement or disagreement with each other. Take for example the ideas Pedro and Filipino. In drawing a judgment, the mind compares this idea. Then it enunciates or declares whether they agree or disagree with each other. If the mind judges that the term Pedro is in agreement with the term Filipino, the mind declares Pedro is Filipino. On the other hand, if the mind declares Pedro is not Filipino, its judgment is that the two terms are in disagreement with each other. So, kinakailangan ng dalawang idea upang makabuo ng judgment. Habang ang isip ay bumubuo ng judgment, pinaghambing nito ang mga idea. Binibigkas ng isip ang kaugnay kung magkasundo o hindi magkasundo. Halimbawa, nakabuo ng idea na Pedro at Filipino. So, nakakabuo na tayo agad ng panghuhusga o judgment ang ating utak. Kung ang ating naisip ay si Pedro ay kaugnay ng Filipino, pinapatunayan natin na si Pedro ay isang Pilipino. Samantalang iba ay naisip nila na si Pedro ay hindi isang Pilipino. So nagkakaroon ito ng panghusga o judgment na hindi magkasundo. It can be said that judgment is a mental operation. If the mind forms judgment and it is sympathetic, the idea will split its connection with the mind. But when there is a disagreement, the two ideas will have a negative judgment. Masasabi na ang judgment ay isang mental operation kung ang isip ay bumubuo ng judgment at ito'y nagkakasundo. Pinagtitibay ng idea ang pagkakaugnay nito sa pag-iisip. Ngunit kapag magkaroon ito ng hindi pagkakasundo, ang dalawang idea ay magkakaroon ito ng negative judgment. So dito naman tayo sa definition of proposition. A proposition is a statement through which a judgment is expressed. This means that propositions are the building block of judgment. Without proposition, there can be no judgment. Inasmuch as there are affirmative and negative judgments, there are also affirmative and negative propositions. In addition to affirmative and negative judgments, there are also true and false judgment in like manner that there are also true and false proposition. A true proposition is a statement that corresponds to fact, while a false proposition is one that does not correspond to fact. That statement. The statement, all Al-Qaeda fighters are terrorists, is an example for an affirmative and true proposition. The statement, all Al-Qaeda bandits are not terrorists. Ang proposition is nagpapahayag. Ang proposition ay ito ang way para maipahayag o maipakita ang paghatol or judgment. Kung walang proposition, walang judgment. Sa dami ng positive at negative ng judgment, mayroon din positive at negative ang proposition. Dahil ito, ang dalawang ito ay magkaugnay at parehong nagpapahayag ng mga idea. The statement, all Al-Qaeda fighters are terrorists. This is the example of positive and true proposition, while the statement, all Al-Qaeda bandits are not terrorists, is that example of negative and false proposition. Dahil ang isang judgment is kailangan magpakita ng kaugnay ng dalawang idea, magkasundo man o hindi magkasundo. So, elements of proposition. A proposition has three elements mainly. Number 1, subject. Number 2, predicate. And number 3 is copula. Subject of proposition is term which is either denied or affirmed. It has to be noted, however, that the logical subject of a proposition is not always the same as its grammatical subject. For example, in the statement, we hate corrupt government official, the grammatical subject is we, but in logic, the subject is those we hate, corrupt government officials. The reason why the term we cannot be take for a logical subject is that there is nothing about it to either affirm or negative. Thus, in the example, it is the corrupt government official that qualified for a logic subject since it is the one that is affirmed we hate. So, ang subject ng proposition is deny or affirm. Ang deny is yan yung tinanggihan, or ang firm ay yan yung pinagtibay. So, sinasabi dito na ang grammatical subject is we, but in logical subject is those we hate corrupt government officials. Ang dahilan kung bakit wala tayong term sa logic subject is dahil wala itong katibayan o pagtanggi. Kaya sa binigay na halimbawa, ang corrupt government is qualified para sa logic subject ay dahil ito ang katibayan. We hate. Predicate. The predicate of a proposition is that which is either denied or affirmed of the subject. For example, we say all whales are mammals. In this proposition, the predicate is mammals. Such is the case because the term mammals is the one affirmed of the term subject whales. Copula. The copula of the proposition normally appears in the present tense in the indicative mood of the verb to be. is, not, is not, and are not. Although they can also be in the past tense, it is that part of the proposition that express the affirmation or denial of the predicate term of the subject term. So hanggang dito lamang po ang aking report. Thank you for watching.